Right, I'm going to go through a commentary game because it was ruined by the wonderful DMCA. I thought this one was interesting. I'm going to preface this clip or this video with I am not a high-level player. My decks are not refined genius decks. They contain intentionally bad cards like Nexus and Chameleus and stuff like that. Nevertheless, though, let's take a look at this game, which I guess DMCA claimed probably. I don't know what was playing, but it was some music playing. That had an interesting outcome, and I'm going to talk through the process of the game. I suppose my thought process of the game. I'm playing Reno Priest. Obviously, you can see. Look, there's Nexus. Terrible card. Pretty fun though. Does win games still because obviously like 0 mana ping is very good. I'm playing against the Mage, so obviously you expect Mage to be either APM Mage, they call it, which is basically Flame Waker, Mizaki Mage, but more likely a Quest Mage than a Mizaki Mage. This one I won't ruin it yet, but it is Quest Mage. They just don't play the Quest yet, which is fine to do because obviously you're not playing any cards outside of your deck yet. The one card I mulligan for in this matchup is Mind Render. I actually thought that was Mind Render there, but it's just a little Lazul. Lazul's not bad though, because I can play that and get I could get a biscuit off him, or I could get like an apprentice or something like that. But what we see is there is Quest, Giant, and Project. So it is old school Quest Mage, which probably is still quite good because of the 2 new cards that were printed for Mana Refresh. So my thought process here is I want to go for the open Waygate because against this type of Quest Mage, it's very, very unlikely that I'm ever going to get to play their completed quest because they're going to immediately kill me. As soon as they complete the quest, they're going to play the Giants and then play the quest and then immediately kill me. So I actually take Quest here and play it. Reason being, I also coin it, which I know like it's one less spell, but I immediately play it. I'm worried about overdrawing. I don't want to overdraw my Mind Render. That's why I actually coin it there, because we saw he had like dual card draw. So my thought process in this match was, if I get Mind Render and I can play Mind Render against them, I can complete that quest. And I can take his cards away from him to stop him from completing the quest. And then I can kill him with either like pings from a Death Knight or something along those lines. So I'm still relying on the win condition of Mind Render in this case. Now that I have the quest enabled, it's more likely that I can, destroy his hand and then enable my double turn. My opponent correctly plays Mana Biscuit immediately there. I think if you're playing against the Priest, you can expect Rat and you can expect Mind Render, obviously. So if you ever want to play Biscuit and you're playing Quest Mage, just play the Biscuit immediately along with a spell. That's probably your best bet because then you're not given information that you're holding onto a Biscuit in hand. Because then obviously you could play Mind Render and then Biscuit. You know what I mean? Is Explosive Rune? I didn't see. That was probably generated. I didn't see though. I don't know. Was that generated off Orb? Probably. Now I like this though for us because he's played 2 projects and a Incanters, and with the flow being there, we now know his hand is going to be reduced by 1, and he's got 4 cards in there that are going to be reduced by 1 at least. And we know he's got a Giant from the Lazul that we played, so it's perfectly fine, I think, here just to go for the Mind Render. And we strike pretty good there. We hit a Biscuit, a couple of 0 mana cards, and I have enough spells to actually play the Giant out in this situation. And I'm just going to completely destroy his hand, or as much as his hand as possible. Because obviously, like, a big part of him completing the quest there from that hand would be Evocation. Especially if you hit an Apprentice, Evocation would be a big issue. So obviously I'm gonna dump that. I actually get lucky and hit a 0 mana card as well, which isn't too bad. I don't know if, because I took his hand there, I don't know how it works. I don't know if Arcane Giant is reduced for him. I think it's an aura effect. So even though it's 2 mana for me, I think for him when it goes back into his hand, it's still whatever mana, 6 or 8 mana, whatever it was. Here as well, to note, I only need to complete 1 more part of the quest, 1 more spell, and I have ways to do that. I can either play like a Shadow Vision. Obviously I've got Renew there, so Renew is going to do it. But I want to, at this point in the match, I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to kill him. He's not got that many cards completed on his quest. I only need one, so obviously I can renew, take a cheap card and then complete it later. What I want to do though is I want to get my Death Knight online. So here I'm going to play Polka. I take a cheap spell, 2 mana on the Polka. Now I'm going to draw the Death Knight. Now it's a case of now playing Death Knight, playing the quest and the 2 mana spell in the next turn. 2 mana spell in quest, obviously. So I'm going for a 2-turn lethal now. And because he has, looks like he has very few ways to generate cards, and he's got a giant in his hand. It looks like he's kind of busted now. And obviously, Mind Render is the best card in this deck. If you're playing Reno Mage, Mind Render is the best card, without question. Currently in this meta, anyway. There's so many combo decks. Even like Hand Buff Paladin, Mind Render is the best card because you just let your opponent buff. You play Mind Render, empty the hand, game's over. Same with Quest Mage. Doesn't do too well against Celestial Druid though. Not too great there. He actually picks up Mind Render from the Psychic that he played, which was very smart. I glossed over that there. Let me pause that video for a second. So what he did earlier on in the game, he played Psychic Scream and put Mind Render back in the deck, which is clever because when I complete the quest, if he draws it, he can obviously then play Mind Render and take the quest off me. But like him, I'm going to play the quest immediately and try to kill him on a 2-turn effect. But he does a great play there. He plays 2 giants. He plays the Mind Render to stop me from doing anything. It's just that I am probably very likely to top deck a spell from his deck, which we're going to see now. So I do top deck a free spell, which completes the quest for me. I'm given the giant that he had in hand. So yeah, it is lethal because I don't know if I actually get the deck back. I mean, I can ping him to death and then play the giant and then ping again and do it's over. But yeah, that was a cool game. Normally wouldn't win like that. You don't usually complete the quest, but I just thought that was cool. Right, I had one more saved, and this is it's a combo mage, but this one is a different combo mage. Before I go through this one, it's a Mazaki mage. This one, which is coined APM mage, basically. Exactly the same mulligan. Give me Mind Render. Basically, give me Mind Render. That's all I want. Any way to draw Mind Render. Like, if I didn't run so many 2-drops in this deck, like Zeph and Card Draw and other bits like that, I would try tutor out my lowest cost card and try make that Mind Render. But currently, can't really do that. Not with the list I'm running for Reno Priest, unfortunately. A lot of these matchups where you do play against Mage, I'm just on the hunt for that card. What I will do, like my opponent's done there, they play Biscuit, and then they hoard it for later, obviously. That's the correct thing for them to do if they want to try kill you in one turn. But it is... I'm quite happy to see that. But it is a telegraph, like, they've got they're giving me 2 mana, essentially. So if I play up front for my Mazaki... I pay up front 3 mana for my Mind Render, and then I can get 2 mana back, basically. So I think this is I don't do it yet because he hasn't played anything else. All he's done is he's played Biscuit and he's drawn 2 cards. He hasn't played what's it called, Incantus Flow yet. So don't go for it yet. I would like to do it with a little bit more mana than 3, but you see my opponent is deciding to go for it now, and that is probably because he's got. He probably noticed they have limited time. I don't know if I played against a lot of these players before, so they probably know. I'm on Mind Render, like most priests are on Mind Render. So whenever you're playing combo mage and you're playing against priest, you know you're on very limited kind of time. The more cards that I draw, obviously, the more likely I have Mind Render in hand. The one bad thing about him going now is that he doesn't have Flamewaker on board. So all this card draw, all of this damage, all of these spells, they're not getting the double ping off. So it's good for us still. Like the fact that he's not going to be able to play Flamewaker here He is using all this damage. He is drawing all these cards. It's making it much more likely that I am going to get a decent Mind Render after this. Still nothing yet. Even another draw. Another 2 draws. And when you're playing Mind Render, your only win condition is you don't care about you don't care if you overdraw any card apart from Mind Render. You don't care if you overdraw Death Knight. You don't care if you overdraw Reno in some cases. All that matters is the render. Like I'm giving my opponent Reno here next turn. Oh no, he hasn't got coin actually. Yeah, well, it doesn't really matter. As you can see though, we've got Apprentice, Biscuit. Let's just do Flow afterwards. So I just get rid of that. I think I tested the counter spell because I don't know what that secret is. That's what I was testing for. So then yeah, just your standard. Just play all the cards. I know that doesn't really help me to do a flow there, but I'm going to empty his hand out anyway. I figured if I draw here with the Arcane, probably not. That's it, yeah. I mean, that's pretty much what you do. I probably could have played Mind Render 1 turn earlier, and then played, but it worked out just the same. It's hard for a priest. No, it's hard for a mage. It's hard for a mage to kill you without an Incanter's Flow. Pretty much.